Alright, let's film some guttery clearing stuff. First thing I've had to do is just touch base with next door, because the first bit of guttering I'm going to clear is this one up there. But I'm going to need to put the ladder on the corner of the house because I can't get it on the side because the fence is going to be too high for the standoff. I'm going to just put my ladder standoff right underneath the middle gutter there. I'm okay with the foot of the ladder coming down here, especially because the driveway is tilting downwards. I'm not, touch wood, I've not had any kickbacks in all these years. And then coming down the side of the house, might go on the corner again. We'll just see. It's just all about the angles. Yeah, no two houses are the same when it comes to ladder access, so you just got to play it by ear really. Then I'm going to go in the back. Okay, first thing I've had to do is get this plugged in. So that's into the house now, so I can put the vac in. Don't have to worry about that. It's about 20-25 metres, maybe 30 metres, but I know that that will get me all the way around the house if I need to. You don't get to see in this video why I brought this. If your ladder is going on the grass, this is really good to stake into the ground, so it doesn't, behind the foot of the ladder, so it doesn't kick back. Might not need that today. This is my ladder standoff. You can see I've put these blocks on because I don't like the rubber. Oh, it just gives me a bit more standoff from the wall, but also I don't like the rubber rubbing against, especially white plastic fascia boards, because it does leave marks, so I've put them on. Poles. My rain cover. Old beastie. Good. Right. Good. It's a triple back motor, but I only ever run it on 2 motors, and then if I really need it, I can add some more later. Right. It's also really important to unravel that, get all the kinks out of it now while you can. Extra there with the vac, because it all came out with one hand. So let's have a look at the pitch of the ladder. I like to keep the ladder on a pretty steep pitch if I can help it, because the ultimate no is for a slip back on the ladder, so that's not, I've got to avoid that at all costs. Anyway, so look, you can see about my extra bit of standoff. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't put those blocks on. Because look, now alright, in this case it's fluke, but I am perfectly just touching the gutter level there, and I'm on the fascia boards up there, so it's all good. I'll have to take you up with me. Okay, there's a fair old bit in here that needs coming out, that's fine. Roof could do with a good clean as well, but I shan't mention that. Right, you'll notice I've got my knee pressed against that. For long term use when I'm up a ladder, I've got that Velcro there which I strap that onto here, so this is all free. So I'll switch this on. Shit. There's a kink in the line. Right, some people are going to hate me for saying this. There's no way, unless you come up with your hand and do this physically, there's no way you're clearing that out from the ground. Sometimes these are flexible because they're lead, but this isn't. This is plastic, and you gotta get in there with your fingers. That's my belief, anyway. Maybe someone will put a video up of a tool that'll do this. There we go. Right. Just have to stay there for a minute. Something I should say is whenever you're moving the ladder, collapse it as much as possible. Alright, because it weighs an absolute, well, it weighs what it weighs, but it's a nightmare to move when it's tall, if that makes sense. Okay, well for me, this is the reality of gutter cleaning. It is extremely dangerous. I'm not slating anybody, but there's no way I could have cleared that downspout from down here without seeing. thing I'm often asked to look at is like little weeps in joints of gutters, and you can tell like over time. See this white staining, this obviously limescale where water has been just leaching out of the sides. The fact is come up quite high, which makes me wonder, in the past, have these gutters been so full that the leaks have been coming out at this level? I don't know. Anyway, I'm not seeing anything glaringly obvious, so all I can imagine it's going to be is that the rubber seal that's underneath these, I don't know, maybe it's just slightly cracked. It's all a little bit damp, so I can't go putting silicone in it, but the best I can do in this situation is I quite often use this stuff. It's just for plumbing really, but it's just like a leak sealant. So I grab a bit of this, let's pop that there, hope it doesn't blow off, and it's putty. I'm basically I'm pulling it into the sides with just, I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera, so I'm pulling it in. Alright, I'm pretty confident with this. I've put a load of plumber's mate in there, and yeah, right now is a bit of a, you know, a bit of a Bucksy freebie type thing. I think that's not bad. But for me, the next stage is, if it was still weeping after this, then it would just be get a new bracket. In fact, I better just get a shot of what this bracket is, so when I start looking on the screw fix, yeah, that'll be alright. It's basically not a round one. So right, I've got to just do the conservatory gutters. Don't think you need to see that, but then I'm out of here. So a lot of bad form on a ladder or something. You know, I can imagine there might be a lot of those thoughts. The only reason I'm doing this is not complacency. Well, it is complacency, isn't it? But I've just been using ladders like this for so many years that I don't advise anyone, if they're new to this, to start swinging ladders around, jumping up and down them. You've not seen me on 1 foot today and stuff like that, but just common sense, know your limits, know what you're good with. I spent years coming up on a ladder like this, you know, but I had to do it because I don't have any other skills. I don't, you know, there was no other way for me to be. Obviously I could start applying for jobs and stuff, but I just needed, you know, to make money however I could, saying yes to all sorts of jobs. I used to be petrified of going up on ladders. I remember my dad asked me to put a ladder up to you know, an upper window once to paint something, and I think I was just frozen stiff. So, and then I did a couple of bungee jumps and parachute jumps and things like that, and hey, here I am. Sorry, it's a bit of a flex in it. But point is, you get used to heights. I know why a lot of people prefer clearing gutters from down below, because it's like you don't have to come up on ladders. But for me, there's nothing better than just seeing what you're doing, getting hands-on with it. I know there's lots of official best practices that argument, 3 points of contact and all that, and do all that. I'll have another rant about stuff like that in the future. Anyway, I'm waffling. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned something from this, because to me it's not as easy as it looks. When someone says 50 quid, not that they do say this, but if someone was to say 50 quid, you've only been here an hour, I'd say, yeah, but you're paying me for the danger, I suppose, of being able to get this job done thoroughly, the way I see best. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you learned lots. Cheers.